Welcome to the Empowered Working Mom Revolution podcast. I'm your host, Jocelyn Young. Our mission here is to amplify the stories of all moms so that they can be seen, heard, and supported in their motherhood journey, regardless of whether they're balancing motherhood with an external career or choosing to dedicate themselves fully to motherhood. We believe here that everyone has a unique story, and we found that storytelling is an impactful way to connect and learn from one another. Because sharing and listening to each other's stories makes us feel connected, supported, and inspired. We're excited to bring you diverse stories from fellow working moms like you. So grab your favorite drink, get cozy, and listen in to today's story to feel acknowledged, encouraged, and most importantly, that you're not alone in your experience as a working mom. Hey mama friends, before I share about today's conversation, I'd love to give a shout out to another listener with the handle Jawsy Time, who wrote a review for our podcast, our second review. Woohoo! Thank you so much, Jawsy Time, for taking the time to write such a wonderful and heartfelt review for the Empowered Working Mom Revolution podcast. She wrote, "Thank you, Jocelyn, for shining a light on the stories of moms and their journeys through motherhood, work, hard times, and good times. Navigating the fast-paced world of today isn't easy. This podcast helps us all feel less alone." Now, as an independent podcaster, I'm so grateful for reviews like this because they keep me motivated to continue this mission-driven work of helping all moms feel seen, heard, inspired, and supported in their motherhood journey through the art of storytelling. If you've been enjoying the stories and content we share here on the podcast, I'd love to invite you to write a review on Apple Podcasts. Reviews are what helps the algorithm put our podcasts in front of the moms we're trying to reach. So thank you so much for your support. Now, I'm so excited to share this conversation with Kelsey Cook, a certified teacher turned entrepreneur who's absolutely crushing it as a mom of four while building Learning with Kelsey, her subscription box company that's now serving families in all 50 states. I absolutely love it when I get to meet fellow former educators who have transitioned into other careers while utilizing those amazing skills we developed as teachers. This goes to show that as teachers and educators, we have so much to offer beyond the four walls of the classroom. Now, here's what really stuck out to me during our chat. Kelsey completely dismantles that "I'm just a teacher" myth we hear way too often. She shows us how motherhood actually gave her the confidence to leap into entrepreneurship and how all those classroom skills translate into real business superpowers. From her COVID porch packets to shipping 14,000 boxes monthly, her story is proof that when you follow what lights you up and serve a need that you're personally experiencing, real magic happens. Speaking of trusting your instincts as a mom, I have to share something exciting with you. You're about to hear Kelsey's incredible story about creating Learning with Kelsey, and honestly, her educational boxes are the answer to that overwhelming question we've all had. What should I be doing to help my child learn? Now, here's what I love about Learning with Kelsey, because Kelsey gets it, because she's been in our shoes. As a former teacher and a mom, she knows exactly what kids need to thrive in kindergarten, but she also understands how overwhelmed we can feel trying to figure it all out ourselves. So each month, you get a beautifully curated box filled with hands-on activities that actually make learning fun and not stressful. We're talking toddler boxes, preschool boxes, kinder prep, even sensory boxes. Everything is age appropriate and designed by someone who truly understands child development. And here's the best part. Over 35,000 moms are already using these boxes, which means Kelsey has figured out how to take the guesswork out of early learning for all of us. So I'm excited to offer you and all our listeners here $10 off your first order. Just head to rstr.co/learning-with-Kelsey/5062. You can also click the link in our show notes. Trust me, your future kindergarten teacher will thank you. So this episode is especially for my teacher mamas out there. You're going to walk away feeling so seen and empowered to trust your own instincts. And as I always say, grab your favorite drink, get cozy, and let's dive in. Hey y'all. All right. I'm so excited. Welcome to another episode here on the Empower Working Mom Revolution podcast. I have Kelsey Cook here with us today, and I'm so excited because you know what? It always brings me joy when I get to meet another mom who is also a fellow educator because when you're a teacher, you're always a teacher at heart.
Hmm.
But also, what's also cool is very similar. And reason why I wanted to have her on the show is because she is also doing something outside of teaching, but it is in line. So I'm going to let her share with y'all about that in just a little bit. But this is why I'm super excited for all of us mamas who are also educators. I know all of you out there who are listening. This one is for you. All right. So, Kelsey, welcome to the show.
Yes, thank you. I'm so excited to be on here with you.
Awesome. Can you just share a little bit about yourself to our audience? And then I'm excited to dive into your story.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm Kelsey. I am a mom of four. My kids are 9, 7, 4, and 1. So we are busy over here. It's kind of chaos. I have 3 boys and 1 girl. And like you said, I was a teacher. I taught in public school, I taught a preschool, and then I now own a business.
That is amazing. You are one busy mama.
I'm busy. Yes.
Okay, I have so many questions for you.
Okay, I'm ready.
I'm I'm curious, like, what was that moment? Like, I know a little bit about your story because I read a little bit about you, but like, what was that really biggest moment that kind of shifted into like who you've become today and even what you're doing, right? You told a little bit just now,
Mhm.
like you're public education as a teacher, now you mom of four, and now running your own business. So I'm so curious, like, what was that biggest moment that got you to like this changed you to where you are today?
Yeah. So there's kind of a few moments. So I'll kind of give you my like backstory on what led me to where I'm at. So I taught kindergarten and I taught third grade in school for 6 years, and then I decided to stay home with my first baby. And after being home for a little bit, I missed teaching so much, and so I opened a preschool out of my house. Um, that's kind of like a thing in Arizona. I know in other places people are like, "What are you talking about?" But a lot of people here that have been former teachers do it. And so I taught just like 12 kids in my class 2 days a week. And so I could be home with my son and teach. And it was kind of a great balance. And I loved it. I had so much fun doing it. And then COVID happened and I had to close my preschool. So I made packets for my preschoolers and I would leave them out on the porch for their moms, like with what we would have done at school. And so they picked them up and they would do the activities and they started sharing them on Instagram. And so I had people in my neighborhood like say, can I get one of those? Because all of us were like, what do we do with our kids at home during COVID? So I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, for sure. So I started selling them for like $15 a packet and I would leave them out for the moms. And then I started an Instagram because I thought, okay, people kind of like this. This is fun for me. It's giving me something to do. And people wanted me to send them to them. So I started sending packets. And I remember I sent 50 and was like, this is so crazy. Like, I can't believe I'm sending 50 packets. And like, I was like, okay, this is kind of a thing more than just COVID. It's like I was realizing, like, as a teacher and a mom, I had this like unique perspective of like, I know what they need to get to in kindergarten, where a lot of other moms, you just feel like this weird pressure before they go to school of like, it's on me. You're
Yes.
like, it's only me. I'm the one that's supposed to be helping them. And I know there's stuff I'm supposed to do, but I'm also overwhelmed. So that kind of gave me like the jumping off point of like, okay, I'm going to take these packets, I'm going to make them a box. And like the rest is history. We sent 14,000 boxes last month and it's insane. I have a warehouse and a team of 20 women, and my husband just started working with me full time in January. It's like I would have never in a million years thought that I would be here. So, like, to answer your question in a huge roundabout way, I feel like my biggest like jumping like aha moment was like when I sent those 50 packets and being like, "Hey, this is a thing, and I think moms need it."
Yeah. That is so like such a crazy cool story. Right?
It's
Like
really crazy.
because like not only were you feeling a need, right? Because I remember when my kids were young, like they were in like 2, 3, 4, like, and I was a teacher, like I knew what I needed to do, right?
Mhm.
But then I remember like I had some friends who were like, what are you doing? Like, what should we be doing? I remember getting a lot of those DMs,
Yes.
like, what should we be doing? I was like, just read. But then in my back of
Uh-huh.
my mind, no, it's actually more than just reading, like,
Yeah. Yes, but it's kind of like ingrained in you as a teacher.
yeah.
But even as a teacher, I'm like, it was so easy for me, not easy, but like I felt so confident with 28 kindergartners. But
Oh,
then
yeah.
I had one baby and I'm like, oh my gosh, like an 18-month-old is so hard. Like, why is this so hard for me? So even knowing that it's still so hard because you're like, okay, I have to figure out what they need to know. I have to gather supplies or do this activity or, whatever. It just is so much harder when it's your child.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. It's like everything went out the door. What happened?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, how do I do this?
I love the part where though when you had your firstborn, you figured out what would work for you.
Hmm.
I think that's like the hardest thing as a new mom is like figuring out what would work for you because there's so many inputs from everywhere of like,
Hmm.
put your child in daycare or find a nanny or something like that. And you're like, you know what? I'm going to do this because this worked for me.
Yeah.
I mean, how did you get to that place to like, because I could hear like that, I don't know, that confidence in you or like, nope, you know what? I see people doing, I'm a teacher, but get a preschool going in my own home so that I could be home with my baby. Like, how did you get to that place of confidence of like making that decision?
Yeah.
Because, yeah.
I mean, I feel like I was just talking to someone the other day about this, and I think one of the things that motherhood brought me was confidence. Like, and it's weird because like in the same breath, it's like, but I felt like I know nothing. But you get like this confidence of like, this is my baby. Like I'm in charge of them. I'm the only one that can answer for them. I'm the only one that can give them what they need. And so I feel like being a mom kind of gave me this confidence boost of like, I can do it. And I already love teaching so much. So for me, it felt like such an easy transition. But then when I look back, I'm kind of, I get in like this imposter syndrome of like, who did I think I was? Like, I just said like, go for it. But I have this like, for better or for worse, a personality trait of like, I'm just going to do it and not think about it. If I think about it too hard, I will talk myself out of it.
Ooh, that's such great advice because us moms can overthink so easily.
Oh, always,
Always.
always. And I am an overthinker. So
Yeah.
it is to me, sometimes I look at things and I'm like, wow, the only reason I did that is because I didn't feel any pressure. Like I wasn't going into this thinking like, I'm going to start a business. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm going to make something. I'm going to start. It just was like, I love it. I'm going to do Learning with Kelsey. I'm going to make a logo on Canva. I'm just going to put it out there and see how it goes. I
Yeah.
think like, I know I was lucky that I didn't have the pressure of like, this is my livelihood, my whole family, like I
Yeah.
had my husband was working full time. I was doing this during nap and bedtime. And it was something I loved. I think that's another thing that was really big for me is I loved it. And so I think a lot of times we try to like push ourselves to do something that we don't care about and we're not passionate about. And it's so much harder. It's way more of an uphill battle, I think.
Okay, I have a really key question here, and I think this really relates to just moms who are teachers because
Uh-huh.
I get this question a lot. I think you may you may know what it is. So I get this question of like, I'm just a teacher.
Hmm.
What can I do with all my skills? I've just been teaching in the classroom, right? And
Hmm.
like, the thought of like, what else would I do, right? Like, what would you say to that teacher mom?
I think that they're selling themselves short, first of all, 100%, because being a teacher is similar to being a mom in the way that you wear so many hats,
Oh, yeah.
like as a teacher, okay, yeah, you're just teaching, but you also are an incredible manager. You're also very good with people 90% of the time. You know how to communicate really well. You're talking to parents. I'm sure you're creative. You're coming up with lesson plans. So you have to kind of just tap into these other things because teaching is like such a crazy career in that it's like we're doing so much.
Yes.
We're getting nothing, first of all. But
Yes, exactly.
but like their teachers are so incredible, and they're doing so much more than they think they are. Like even I went to my son's just barely his end of the year first grade program, and the teacher had made a scrapbook for every single kid. And I'm like, I know you don't have time to do this. I know this was hours and hours at home. And like, it's so creative and so like thoughtful. And so you're like, they have so many talents that you can tap into. And there's so many things that you can do with those.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So for all my teacher mom friends, I know you're out there because I know you're listeners. Like that one's for you.
Yeah.
That one's for you. And so I next I'm wondering, okay, you mentioned you have 4 kids. You're running an amazing business. You're managing a team, which I'm like, your team's like your classroom of students.
I know. I'm like, it's actually, we're always like joking with my team. Like we're always learning with Kelsey. Like we're always learning new things.
I love it. What are some challenges that you faced and how did you get through them? Like whether that's like as a mom, but even just you're a mompreneur, you know, that title, like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Because during this, so when I very first started, I only had 2 kids. So I've had 2 babies as I've done this, which is also like, I look back like twitching a little, like, how did I make it through that? But like the first biggest challenge for me was, like I told you, I was working in nap and bedtime. And then it came to a point where it's like, okay, but I'm never off, because I'm like mom. And then the second it would be my break, I'm doing my other stuff. And so I was getting very burnt out and I was feeling very overwhelmed. And my husband has always been like my number one supporter, my number one teammate. And he said like, okay, if this is something that you really want to keep doing, you love it. Cause I would say like, well, I just wanted to be a mom. That's why I quit, teaching. He's like, I be with my kids. I don't want to take up time. He's like, then let's hire somebody. So he was kind of like the voice of reason to me. Like you can hire someone to do these things that aren't something that just you can do, and that was really great and kind of a turning point for us and helped me to grow because I was able to hire someone to help. I hired people to help pack the boxes. Then I hired someone to help me with my like purchasing. And, it was also a hard step for me because this was like my other baby, like it's hard giving up like control, but like I also couldn't micromanage because then what's the point of hiring someone?
Yeah.
So it was like I've learned so many lessons through this, but like hiring people was such a big help to me. And then like our next hurdle was like insane growth, which sounds like it should be not a problem, but it can be like a big problem when you're like, we were doing this out of a house. And then we're like, all of a sudden it like flipped a switch where we're like, we have to have a warehouse. And it's like, I don't know about warehouses, like I said, I'm just a teacher, like, we're just a teacher.
Yeah.
And so it was like, okay, well now I need to figure that out. And now I need to figure out how to source items because we're ordering in such big quantities. Like you can't order from Oriental Trading 20,000 of something, so it's just kind of like being able to learn. And I think that because I didn't think of myself as an entrepreneur or a businesswoman, that I'm so open to learning. Like, I'm like, I don't know how to do it. And I know either I'm going to find someone that does, or I'm going to figure it out, So it's, we've had a lot of growing pains and a lot of times where I felt like, okay, I'm going to give up, I'm going to quit. And I just like keep going. And that's kind of why we're here.
That speaks to just your years of experience in the classroom, like problem solving.
Yes, it's so true. See, we're great problem solvers.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love it. And creative problem solving. You're like, if I'm not gonna figure out, I'll find the resources or, it's everything's figure outable, right?
Yes,
like, yeah. Oh my gosh. So I am hearing there was like a leap of faith to do this.
100%. Like I had to just believe that it was going to be a thing. And I think the more people that I brought on my team, the more that kind of fueled me too, because then I'm like, okay, there's people relying on me, people that this is now their job and I can't let them down. And so that was a good and a hard thing for me, because I thought like, okay, if I'm going to give up and then I'm letting everyone else down, and it's like, it's hard too, because you're opening yourself up to like criticism too, which is also a really hard thing for me, is like the internet, is brutal.
Mhm.
And they can
Oh,
be
yeah. Mhm.
people can be very mean to it behind a screen. And like, because it's so personal, it's this curriculum that I've written and I've done with my kids. It's like any bit of criticism was really hard for me at first. So I've had to, that's like helped me grow too, is to be able to take that and say, okay, I'm going to take the good. I'm going to leave the stuff that's not serving me and like just keep going.
Oh my gosh, that right there was such words of wisdom for just every mom right there. Because like, like how you do things, like because your business is like you're almost your fifth baby. Like
Yeah. Yeah. Seriously.
right? But even like when you think about parenting and how raise your kids, right? I
Mhm.
mean, there's just so much feedback that you get that feels like criticism. And so, yeah, I love how you just gave us like ways of how you navigated, right? You're like,
Yeah.
you
And
just,
and it's hard because I'm like naturally a people pleaser,
oh
I
yeah, oh yeah, right here. Same.
it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
an oldest daughter people pleaser. Like I'm just
Uh-huh. Yes, same. Mel, the same.
so,
Same.
so it's hard. And I think again, that's another thing that goes back to motherhood and how grateful I am to be a mom, because that is kind of where I had to be pushed first out of my comfort zone of like, can't people please with everything, like I had to realize like, I can't just say yes to doing something for my baby, even though I don't feel like it's the right thing because someone else wants it. I had to like find my voice as a mom of like, again, I'm your advocate. I'm the one that knows what's best. And so I had to be confident in that. And I think that has helped me so much in business because I've been able to say like, I can say no to things. I think if I hadn't been a mom, it would have been so much harder to learn those lessons because I've learned as a mom, like, no, I don't, that is not okay. I'm not doing that. I'm okay with this. I've had to say, like, I only have so much space in my,
Yeah.
like I have no time and I can only fill it with things that are serving me or people that are building me up and lifting me up. I don't have time for the other parts of it. So,
Yeah. I love that because you're really speaking to just how you're integrating, your experiences in motherhood to what you do as work in your professional life. And I feel like that is like really dismantling this work-life balance kind of, you know, phony baloney stuff that people are
sure.
talking about, right? Like,
Yeah.
because you're really like, look, what I've been learning in motherhood and what I experienced in motherhood, it actually translate into how I navigate through your own, as a business owner,
Mhm.
right? And I can see that as like whatever profession you are in, like it's not a separation. Like what you're doing in motherhood as a mom, it actually serves you in all
Mhm.
other capacities in your life and stuff. So I love that. I know we have another podcast and story where we touched upon that too. So I'll
Oh,
find
I
out
love
what.
that.
I
See?
love that. Like, see, it's coming back
It's
around.
a
So
universal truth.
universal truth, moms.
For sure.
Oh my gosh. One thing I was curious about, right? You talked about trust. You had to trust in others for your business,
Mhm.
right? To provide you support. And I can see that as a parallel as like moms, like trusting other people to support you as your
Mhm.
journey through motherhood, right? I guess could you share like what was that like for you to like really kind of practice trusting other people versus micromanaging? I love how you said that. You're like,
Yeah. Because it's again, it's like an easy thing to fall into, You're like,
yeah.
wait, can you just do this and this and this? And then I'm like, okay, now I'm doing the job. Why am I doing this?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, like you said, like with motherhood, like you realize how important a village is. I know we hear about this all the time. We talk about it all the time, but like it really is so important to find that village that aligns with you. And I found the exact same thing in business. Like finding a village of people that are on the same page as me, that agree with my mission, that are just as excited about this has been like everything to me. And it's been hard, because being a boss is something that's hard for me. Like I've had to have hard conversations. I've had to, you know, tell people things that maybe are out of my comfort zone or whatever. But in doing that, I've built a team of people that I can 100% rely on. And I was just talking the other day, we had this this thing that happened where we didn't order enough of our like private labeled boxes. So we have like these really cute boxes, and moms love the boxes. So if it doesn't come in the private label boxes, like they're mad. And so we were like, oh my gosh, we grew so fast. We didn't have enough coming, and they weren't coming for another 2 weeks. And so we had to get white boxes. And I was like, okay, this is the worst news. This is horrible. It's going to go so bad. I was kind of like in a downward spiral about it. And I was talking with my sister who runs my social media. And then my director of operations is another girl that has become one of my best friends. And we were talking about it, and she said, well, what if we put markers in the box as a bonus to them? And we said, decorate the box this month. It's a little different, but you're going to get to decorate your own box. And my sister was like, okay, and then what if we also did it as a contest, and whoever has the best box, they'll get a free like subscription. And I was like, that is genius. And I would have never thought of that myself.
That is genius.
I know. And I'm like, this is why, like, that was kind of a moment to me where I was like, this is why having people on your team is so powerful and so helpful, because you can't do everything and you can't think of everything. And it's the same thing with being a mom. Like, I value my kids' coaches and teachers because they're giving them bits of wisdom that I don't have or that I'm not seeing that they need. So I think, they just, look, we're tying it all together.
Yeah, love it. So good, Kelsey. So good. Oh my God. Applause. Like that was like such good teacher, like summary.
Oh my gosh. As I was saying, I'm like, wow, this actually is helpful. I'm learning right now what I'm saying.
Oh my gosh. Even my dog over there is like, yes,
we agree.
Yes, we agree. Well, I am wondering, what are some lasting words of wisdom that you have for our moms out here?
I think, first of all, like, be kind to yourself, because you're doing so much better than you think you are. And you're doing so many more things than you realize, I'm sure. And then also, if you have something like in your heart that you want to do, you've got to just go for it. And I think if there's something you're thinking about and you can't stop, just do it, and the rest will come after. You can always change it. You can always change a name. You can always change a logo. You can always evolve, but just put it out there, I think.
I love that. Just go and try it out.
Mm-hmm.
Do it. Follow your heart, right? Yeah. Follow your excitement. Oh my goodness. So fun. This was such a fun conversation.
Yes, it was so fun to talk to you. I love a fellow teacher. It's so great.
I know, we're vibing here.
I know.
We're vibing. So before we do our mom moments in a minute, can you share with us, like, how can people find you and learn about your boxes, which are pretty cool, y'all, because I checked them out. So yeah, can you share with our audience?
Yeah. So I'm on Instagram at Learning with Kelsey. And then you can find the boxes on my website at learningwithkelsey.com.
Awesome. Thanks. Everyone go check her out. I'm going to put the links in the show notes. And you ready for the game?
Yes, I'm ready.
All right. I feel like we're so teachers right now, because
I know we're like setting our expectations.
The learning goal here, everyone. Just kidding. All right. Mom moments in a minute. So here's the first question. It's multiple choice, or choose from the choices question. Okay. So to have a moment of peace and quiet to yourself, which place would you choose? The bathroom, the car, the bedroom, or the closet?
The car. It's my favorite.
Lock the doors.
Lock the door. I can go get a soda, or
you drive somewhere. Yeah.
Yep.
That's so. Next one is an open answer question. So what's your favorite thing that you like to do with your kids?
I love reading with my kids, and I love going to get a new book. My favorite is holiday books at Barnes & Noble. That's like our favorite time. Like before Halloween, we get a Halloween book, and it's the best.
Oh my gosh, do you have a plethora of kids' picture books like I do?
Oh, so many.
Okay, I love it.
And I'm like, they're not looking at all of them, but I love them.
I know, yeah, exactly. There's a thing with picture books,
Yes.
And last question is, out of these choices to relax, what would you choose? A spa, a hike, a nap, reading, or crafting?
Ooh, I think I would choose a nap at this point in my life.
Yes. Well, what's your first?
Yeah. I wish I could choose hiking, but I would definitely choose a nap.
Yeah. Awesome. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much for playing the game. Thank you for just, gracing us with your presence and your energy and words of wisdom here on our podcast and sharing with all of us moms and especially teacher moms. I'm so glad that you got to share that with us.
Yes. Thank you so much for having me.
Alrighty, moms. I hope you enjoyed and feel empowered and seen from today's conversation. Our mission here on the podcast is to amplify the stories of all moms so that you can be seen, heard, and supported in your motherhood journey, regardless of whether you're balancing motherhood with an external career or choosing to dedicate yourself fully to motherhood. And we would appreciate your support because your support matters. And here are 3 ways to support the mission of the podcast. First, you can leave a rating on Apple Podcasts so more moms can discover this podcast. You can select a star rating by scrolling down on the Empowered Working Mom Revolution show page in the Apple Podcast app. 2, you can write a review on Apple Podcasts so more moms can find a place of solace, comfort, and belonging through this podcast. You can do this by scrolling down on the Empowered Working Mom Revolution show page in the Apple Podcast app and tap Write a Review. And lastly, make a one-time donation to the podcast for as little as $7 or whatever amount feels best for you. You can click the link in the show notes to make a donation. We appreciate your support and thanks again for listening in and joining me here on the podcast. I look forward to sharing with you another inspiring mom moment story next week. So until next Wednesday, moms, have a great day.